Today's episode of Nerd Soup is sponsored by Nord VPN. Right now, you can get 68% off a 2-year plan plus 1 additional month for free when you go to nordvpn.com/nerdsoup or use code NERDSOUP. This special offer makes your subscription just $371 per month.
The world still needs superheroes. So let's get out there. Let's take these cocksuckers down.
We are famous now.
Don't you worry. Daddy's home.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Nerd Soup. I am Beau Oliver, joined today by Aaron, the Nerd Soup Monkey, and Teddy, and we are back for another The Boys Season 2 episode spoiler discussion, this time episode 6, The Bloody Doors Off.
It's getting heated, man. It's getting really fucking good.
Yeah, it is getting tense. Things are starting to heat up. And you mentioned last review, I guess you won the fan vote poll, so...
What was it?
Welcome. It was either you or Marissa to be on this spoiler discussion.
Who put that up? I didn't see that.
We put it up for a vote. Well, thank you for watching the video, yeah.
Nice.
Nice little YouTube
I'll take
picture,
the win.
yeah.
That's like putting a bed in and falling asleep and waking up into one.
I think Marissa's
was
suing
busy,
for
right?
a recount, though.
Oh.
Yeah, Marissa was busy. No, you mentioned that you were wondering if they would be able to tie this story together by the end of the season, only having 3 episodes left. And they kind of ramped it up.
They tied a whole bunch in.
They tied it in and I guess opened new avenues for new stories moving forward.
I was gonna say that the writing on this fucking show is amazing because they tying everything in between flashbacks and, like you just said, opening up new avenues, answering questions while doing that. This was the best episode, I think. Aaron,
Yeah.
you were completely right with that tweet. And I even
Usually am.
yeah.
Save that for a drop.
No, yeah, definitely. I think it was the best episode of the season, and sitting with it for a few days, it's, just thinking about where they're going to go with the story and where all these characters are going to end up by the end of the season. I'm just excited. It's kind of one of those things where it's not much of like where I'm speculating on like, oh, what's going to happen next. It's just I want to see it unfold because it's one of those shows that I think lends perfectly to the weekly episode drops because there is that anticipation there, and you always get left off at these big moments. Now seemingly Homelander and Stormfront are going to be teaming up and raising havoc on God knows what.
Full neo-Nazi group going on right now between them two. Yeah,
we talked about it too. It was like we thought Homelander might be like, I'm a piece of shit, but I'm not a Nazi.
Dude, I swear I thought he was going to say, hey, I'm not on board with that. No, he went right into it. I thought he was going to kill her. When he grabbed her face, I thought he was going to snap her neck or something.
Yeah, they play with that a bit, but now their relationship is just so messed up.
Oh, yeah, they're off the rails now. They're going.
Right, and with Stormfront, they've done a kind of a good job of making you sympathize with her a smidge.
Yeah.
That she's kind of, she's lost everybody. They're all terrible people that she's lost.
What, because she said all my friends are in the dirt?
Well, your friends are Nazis, guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously they were terrible people. They draw a parallel with Frenchie, where Frenchie makes the case that his family is gone as well. And him leaving behind Jay and Cherie after Jay had overdosed, even though he went back to save his life, he said he never saw him again.
He died a few months later, he said.
Yeah. So like you mentioned with the flashbacks, them revealing this information to make, our good guys and our bad guys a bit more sympathetic. But Stormfront remains, the worst piece of shit
but even like
on the planet.
Like what they do with villains, too, even with Homelander, it's like, I felt bad for him when she didn't get the flowers. It's like, oh.
Yeah, exactly.
No one wants to be in that situation.
Because he's trying to take a step towards
I want
normalcy.
him in that situation. Are you kidding me?
Thank you for the great day, XOXO Homelander. That's what normal people do, right?
Yeah.
After they crush someone's skull while they're
I
banging
was
in public.
cracking up at that.
Really?
What do you mean? He smashed his face and they start having sex on his dead body? That's the Boys in one picture. Literally.
Yeah, it really is. He's got the blood all over his mouth and shit. It's all disgusting. And then The Boys title card. They have some good title cards throughout the seasons. But no, that they do a good job making us sympathize with these characters at times, even though they are terrible. And Homelander, he just gets so frustrated that he destroys his own trailer. He's a baby.
Yeah.
He's a baby. Now he's got a new super mommy because she was married to Frederick Vought.
Yeah.
And he's like the granddaddy of all the soups.
Yep.
So technically that's like his step super mommy.
All right, well, I'm glad that wasn't... I was going to say that, and I didn't want to get looked that crooked.
No, we're on the same page here.
Right.
Yeah, no. Maybe it's just us two, and the rest of the
be.
world are... Aaron's looking at us crooked.
She's probably...
These are the facts.
She was the first one, and then they made Homelander.
Well,
So,
Stan Edgar mentions a soldier boy. In episode 1 that was first injected with the serum, and then he was fighting against Nazis. So I guess Stormfront came before Soldier Boy.
well, Stormfront is seemingly the head of Vought, no? Like she created Vought?
I guess, yeah, in a way. She's been there since the beginning, but there may be a power struggle behind the scenes between her and Stan Edgar.
It's just
Do you think that Stan Edgar and Stormfront are on the same page
no,
with the
man,
Super Army?
because
No.
this is one thing that I can't tie together because
Your head's about to explode.
because Stan Edgar is black and Stormfront is a neo-Nazi. So it's like, how are they on the same page?
Well, I don't think
Why would
technically
Stan
she's not
Edgar pull her in?
She's not a neo-Nazi.
She's a Nazi, though.
No, she's like a regular Nazi.
Oh, yeah. yeah, literally.
She was there from
Nazi.
back in the day. She's
Yeah.
one of the...
But it's like,
Yeah,
why would
yeah,
he
yeah.
bring her in if she's rolling with that? I mean, unless he's just part of it, too. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Isn't she Jewish? Because she was one of the first experiments, and they did it in a concentration camp?
Is that what they said officially on the episode?
Yeah.
In the episode?
Yeah, they were
I
experimenting
think,
with
well, I
Jews.
think that there's always this idea that racism is, of course, inherently contradictory. It makes no sense. So anybody can ascribe to the
I guess,
theory
yeah.
of superiority. It doesn't matter if you're black or Jewish, or you can take a hateful ideology and spin it any way you want.
Yeah, she says it, too. She's like, we're the better race.
Right. Now it's becoming more of maybe we are the superior race because we have superpowers. And
Yeah.
then you have characters like Butcher who say, no, you guys are just mutants.
Yeah.
You guys have been genetically altered. This isn't a natural thing that's happening. And that's also
It
true.
plays with who's the real racist then, or who's like more like fucked up because
Right.
Butcher hates Starlight and she's a great girl. Just is what's in her blood and he hates her.
Yeah, I think all great shows these days, they kind of play with the role of hero and villain
Yeah.
in an interesting and complex way, and especially this show, definitely, because she says to Butcher, hey, a lot of your tendencies remind me of Homelander. Why don't you cool it? If you want to...
He definitely didn't want to hear that.
Yeah, sometimes you have to become the enemy if you want to destroy the enemy. But it went comic booky with this reveal that they're creating an army of super soldiers. It's not an outcome I thought would ever happen with this show, but...
It is an interesting dynamic because he obviously admired Vought. He has the picture in his office and the way he talked about him to Homelander. So maybe he's using Stormfront to get more insight on him or whatever, but I think we'll learn more about that as the season dwells down. I don't know if Edgar is a mainstay because he is maybe too powerful to be kept alive if you're Stormfront or Homelander. And obviously you have these superpowers and you would assume that he might...
What you said's a good point. That could be true. Maybe he got insight on what they're doing at Sage. He hired Stormfront to be his insight, and he's just using her as a puppet. Now this puppet might just go out of control now, and now he's fucked.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah.
But like we mentioned, we got a lot of good flashbacks with the Frenchie character, and we learned more about Lamplighter, something that we joked about that on the review that none of us caught. That was Lamplighter, the guy flicking the lighter. You and Aaron didn't even
the hell
remember the
is
scene. You guys are like, what scene was that? But yeah, no, we learned about Lamplighter, and we have new information about what happened. And how a lot of the boys originally blamed Frenchie for failing to tail Lamplighter and to stop killing those kids.
A lot of this show was the heroes and villains like confronting their past. On paper, if you told me that it was mostly that kind of show, I would think that'd be not that entertaining of a show. But this show just did a great job of bringing everybody in and giving you more insight on these characters.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of providing reasons for why these characters go
Exactly.
to these extremes. And even Lamplighter, I think I kind of misspoke on the last review where I said that he retired because of what he did. It looks like he retired years after that incident, after him burning the children. And then he went on to just continue to burn children in his retirement at this facility. So I think there's more information.
Stick to what you're good at.
Yeah, I guess.
So I think there's
he's-
more information to be revealed about why exactly he was brought in to work with Stormfront and Stan Edgar. It can't be as simple as he's good at burning the evidence.
Yeah, what you just said, I was going to say that Lamplighter made me feel bad for him because he genuinely didn't know that the kids were in there. But then now you're saying that he's willingly killing these patients. So it's like, I guess I don't really feel bad for him anymore.
He probably doesn't have a choice when
Yeah.
Vought has you by the balls, but I think that with Lamplighter, it's interesting to see where his character is going forward. I think that was one of the most intriguing parts of the episode is that Frenchie, after all these years and all this hatred he had for him, basically saved his life. And they seem to have a plan with this character, so That would be cool for him, like, to join the boys. If you have Stormfront and Homelander and probably the two most powerful supes in the world, you're going to need a big team to stand up against them. So they're building up a little squad over there. You got the boys, Kimiko, Starlight, Lamplighter, and maybe Maeve. Who knows what the deep end A-Train are going to be doing, but I don't know. It's definitely intriguing. Like, these kind of, like, cliques building within this world that may not all, like, I don't know if Maeve and the boys see eye to eye. I don't know if the Deep and A-Train and the boys see eye to eye. Maybe they all come together to defeat Homelander, or who knows what's going to happen.
You know what I thought was a good add-in in the show was this episode was when they went back to the boys and how they were, like, 8 years ago, I think it was, or maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah, it was 8 years and then 5 years.
When they were working with Mallory.
8 years was in the beginning when Frenchie tried to rob the bank, and then he gets caught. So you could see that they were together possibly for 3 years, trying to take down Vought.
Frenchie's a little mad chemist, huh?
Well,
I knew he was good, but...
Season 1, he did acid and then whipped up...
Yeah. This guy killed, like, I thought, like, maybe Translucent was, like, one of his only ones, and he was just, like, really good, but he's got bodies, dude.
I think they established that in Season 1, that all these guys have bodies. Come on, they go way back. Butcher with the slick-backed hair.
But I love that Frenchie hasn't been really part of this season, and then he comes in pretty much a full episode, and he kills it.
Right, yeah, no, it's they've been handling their characters in a smart way, where sometimes you have to focus on this character because of what they've established. They deserve it. They deserve the spotlight for an episode or two. And sometimes you have to push some characters off to the side. Frenchie has been one of those characters, and then you give him the best episode of the season. So everything kind of makes sense with everything he's been struggling with Kimiko, because... like I mentioned, this is a character who he has to live with these failures, and he's trying to make these failures right. And, he does the right thing in that moment when he stops trailing Lamplighter to go save his friend. But then he makes another mistake by leaving his friend behind. And Lamplighter had already killed those kids. Frenchie wasn't going to make up for that. So he's like, I made so many bad decisions. Nothing went right. And here I am still stuck in this world. So it's a character that everyone already loves. So it just makes you love him even more. And especially when you see the reaction that the boys had to his mistake. When Mother's Milk said, "You should have told us."
Yeah.
And, the acting, Shawn Ashmore and the actor who plays Frenchie, they were both. The best parts of this episode and the performances were so great. Mm-hmm. I'm always so impressed by how serious these actors take this world. Because it is so ridiculous at times, even though they ground it. But you can really feel it in their performances.
No, it's the perfect blend of, like, comic book and drama.
Definitely.
So I think that's one of the things it does extremely well, where you can have ridiculously comic book accurate type scenes, but you can still display the emotion. And comics do that very well, too.
Yes,
just comics
definitely.
themselves, just with characterization and emotional moments, where comics are typically more wacky than what we see in live action incarnations, but they're able to balance it well. So The Boys is really not one of the first, but they do it definitely they're definitely one of the best at portraying that.
Yeah, it's like Mother's Milk being strangled by the guy with the giant dick.
It's hilarious, dude.
Yeah, it's just a random ridiculous moment in the middle of this episode, and it is funny.
I was contemplating for so long, like, can I show this in the YouTube video? It doesn't really look like a dick. It's kind of like a long worm.
Yeah, I really thought it was like a Mr. Fantastic kind of guy, the Elastic guy.
It kind of is.
Yeah. But then I was like, oh no.
Well, that solves the question that everyone always had about Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, it's a bad superpower to have. I mean, like, they're just sitting there.
When we first
see it, it's still way too big to do anything with.
When you first saw it, you're like,
just a burden.
What the hell is that?
Yeah, at that point, it's a burden. It's a nightmare at the airport. You're going to get flagged for that every single time.
Imagine getting pumped up. Oh, he did it later in life. But imagine, like, giving, like, the traditional way, giving your kid the V, and he just grows a monster hog. It's like, I signed up for flight.
Yeah. He's supposed to be a speedster. Oh, he's got a jumbo dick.
Isn't it crazy that this show is a superhero show and there's hardly any action in it? Just story plot and acting.
They do a great job of not relying on some CGI and superpowers. Yeah. Obviously, it's sprinkled in, and we know what a lot of these characters are capable of. Probably a lot of it is to do with budgetary reasons, kind of like the dragons in Game of Thrones. It's like they wait to use it because it's going to take up a ton of their budget. So I think that's a factor too, but the way they're able to get around that, it kind of makes it even, like, cooler when they use their powers. It's they save it for the perfect moments. It's not overly reliant on these big action. Some episodes, Homelander isn't going to do anything crazy.
Right.
He'll smash a head in the beginning, but then, he'll fly a couple times.
It's Billy freeing Kimiko's brother to bring down when they're in that construction site, and he just tramples Homelander with all that shit. That's awesome. Homelander should have probably heard them coming, or maybe that attack doesn't really hurt a Homelander, but like you said, they don't have a lot of action sequences. Or in this episode, in the Sage Grove Center, when all the heroes break out, or all the test subjects break out and just start murdering everyone. The main one, Cindy, 11, the bald-headed girl. She's an absolute problem.
That's what 11 would be if she got stuck in that fucking facility.
Yeah, it is. She's got strong 11 vibes. And that's another character we were talking about, all the cliques and factions that are being made up.
You bald, you 11.
Do you kind of wish that, I don't know, I thought it was kind of cheesy that she just woke up and she was fine. I thought that was kind of annoying. To have Stormfront, this powerful soup, assumingly fryer, and then a scene later she's walking, hitchhiking.
Yeah, there's a lot of stupid things that they do like that I just don't mind.
You just don't mind? Yeah,
yeah, because Stormfront is not thinking about that.
Right, she just want to take her down.
Yeah, she thinks that she's out for the count, and then she just gets up and hitchhikes.
Yeah.
And she escaped. It's a little silly. It's like Elena not walking in, but just saying, "Oh, where's your phone?"
Yeah.
And then finding the phone, and then there's this video of her committing this terrible act.
Yeah, it was the first thing she opened up.
And for that scene, I don't know if Elena was thinking in her head, "Oh, I need to take down Maeve and Homelander," or she's just realizing how maybe corrupted Maeve has become, that there's no saving Maeve, that she's too invested in this anyway.
Well, Maeve
can't fly though. It's like what I don't know what Elena wanted.
You're
Maeve
Maeve's
to
lawyer,
do. But I don't know what
Elena. Maeve can't fly.
I think Maeve has an argument that what the fuck she gonna do to Homelander? Like what's she gonna do? Jump out the plane?
Well, I guess
too?
what you would want in that moment for her to say, "No, you have to do this," and then if Homelander just leaves her behind, she dies honorably.
Yeah, nah, I don't know.
No, well, we don't know. We don't know what was going on in Elena's mind. I think she was just more kind of
you gotta be shocked too.
Shocked by the extent of what type of dude Homelander is. Because of the public image. It's one thing to be told, and then I guess another thing to be shown. But that's a bit of a lazy.
It's the parallels with our world though. All the blackmail coming out, all the behind the scenes what you don't see, and then now everything's getting leaked and people are getting taken down.
Yeah, we mentioned that it wasn't going to be a physical confrontation. It was going to be blackmail, and that's a hell of a thing to use against somebody. But I don't know how you take down Homelander, because like we said, he's united with Stormfront now in the end.
I think he's over his image now. Personally.
Well, what happens? They haven't gone back to the kid in a few episodes.
Yeah.
What was it? Billy in episode 4 attempts to save his wife? 4 or 5?
I think the kid comes back season 3. Teenager. Feeling his nuts. Ready to go.
Yeah.
Ready to take down Papa?
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking about that too. It's like 2 episodes left. I don't think we're going to get any much more on the Becca situation. I think that's something that they might revisit later on in the series, but
cliffhanger like they did season 1, maybe.
Well, there could be a sick and twisted idea brewing in Stormfront's head, where she mentions all her family is dead. Homelander always wanted a family, and Homelander says, "Hey, I have a superpowered kid. What if we raised him the right way together as a couple?"
This whole fucking cast wants a family. Jesus Christ.
And then if Butcher is forced to, that'd be
no, but I mean like this whole cast is searching for a family.
To be loved.
Well, they all made their own families now, so.
That's the thing, yeah.
Feeding the
a
boys.
bunch of makeshift families.
Yeah.
I wonder if Butcher would be forced to kind of step in, and that's how he convinces Becca that you can trust me now. I saved Ryan. I saved you. Who knows? But we haven't seen Ryan in a few episodes, and his dad has been definitely busy.
Well, I have a question for you guys with Starlight's power. She finally really used it and killed that poor guy.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Can she...
You don't know him.
If she takes...
Could have been a murderer.
Yeah.
Why does he have a gun?
Starlight caught her first body.
Let him rest, man.
So is it like waterbending, where like if a waterbender only needs a little droplet of water and they can make as much water as they want? Like if Starlight just gets a little bit of power, can she generate as much energy as she want? Like, or can she only use the amount of energy that maybe that car had? You know?
I don't know exactly.
Like, I wonder how strong her
supposed
power
to
is.
read the comics so that you can know these things, but no, I don't. Well, that was an interesting angle, because they haven't really done that in the past, where my powers have to work under certain circumstances.
Yeah.
That was a bit my hero.
Seems
which
like
I
a
don't
liability.
Mind. Well, that's what Billy
Starlight
said,
is,
right?
yeah.
Your power's shit. What the hell? You need a little power. One of those like portable batteries that they sell for the cars.
Yeah.
Just charge it into stuff.
Just keep it with her.
Yeah. Just use jumper cables on her.
That was a sad scene though, man, because you can tell she really didn't want any part of that, and Butcher fucking made her kill him.
Yeah, one of the themes of the show one of the themes of the season has been kind of that disease of vengeance taking over somebody. And you see it with Starlight in this episode where she begins telling Butcher how, he's just like Homelander. And by the end of the episode, like you said, she caught her first body. And she looks back, and it's like Huey when they were escaping on the sea, leaving those people behind. There's no other choice. You're kind of on this path. And
same with Huey in the first season when he killed Translucent.
Right, yeah. Once it's different. I mean, it changes you once you catch that first body, right? It shows you that you can do it.
Well, yeah, her reaction, I think, says how much she's changed since we first met her. It's not like she didn't care, but she's kind of numb to it. She blames the guy for pulling out the gun and everything, and Billy he's like, you know what, I kind of like you now. I mean, like you said in the beginning, they have that contentious confrontation, but by the end, they seem to bond a little, especially over Huey. Huey, to both of them, they both say he's too good for them, and both of them really care for Huey and try to protect him at any means. So I don't know, it's nice.
Yeah, they talk about Huey's innocence, that he's still using the kid shampoo,
hey,
Axe body spray.
Don't sleep on kid shampoo, tear free.
I swear, I might buy it. The strawberry one. What he said.
It smells delicious.
I know,
and that's kind of Huey's role in The Boys, is to provide some of that
to ground
innocence
them.
and
He grounds
humanity.
them.
Yes, yeah, he definitely does ground them. He's the heart and soul of the team, I would say.
Oh, we got our answer too. Who killed the CIA agent? Popped their head.
Yeah, Cindy.
Lamplighter even said it. What do you say last episode? That the patient feels bad for what she did?
Yeah, maybe something like that.
Like you said earlier, man, she's a problem. I really want to know where she has this hatred on Stormfront. Stormfront has a lot of people on her now.
Yeah, that's the thing. Stormfront's making a lot of enemies out of these people.
No, she got Homelander too, though.
It's going to be simple to convince him to fight against her.
Yeah.
And Kimiko wanted to fight. As soon as Kimiko sees Stormfront, she is ready to scrap.
Yeah.
She was funny this episode. Did you like the bling that she had on her fingers?
Yeah, it was
ballsy.
Is that what you bought with your blood money? And she fucking huffs on it.
Yeah, I got a kick out of that. She was funny in this episode.
And
she's starting to understand more of where Frenchie's coming from.
Yeah.
I always like when she sees Stormfront on TV or sees her in person, and she's like, it's on site. But then she's like, she'd probably kill me.
Yeah. She does remember in the back of her head. She's like, oh yeah, she's nice. She's nice with it. And even Butcher, you wonder if he's softening his stance on superheroes and the potential for them to not rediscover, but maintain their humanity even after being injected with Compound V, because we see him shoot that character that projects Huey, and Butcher right there on the spot decides to kill him. It looked like he was trying to talk him down.
I don't know.
Usually Butcher, if he sees a soup, it is going to be on site. It's like with Starlight last season when he shot her.
Well, I think this Starlight Butcher scenario was going to roll over into him and his son, where he's going to accept his son now being a soup, because he's going to have this.
Not his son.
Not, you know what I mean?
His stepson.
Stepson, yeah.
Okay, I think that's I don't hate that idea. He needs some of that. I think that's inevitable for his character. We can see the good intentions that he does have. But once again, Butcher is a character who is now really just doing this for the fuck of it. He wasn't able to save Becca, so now that motivating factor is gone. So he lost the opportunity to be reunited with his family. So what is he doing this for now? But he still seems to be enjoying it.
Yeah, he just wants to take him down.
After that confrontation with Black Noir, he's pissed off because I'm fighting for Huey, I'm fighting for MM, I'm fighting for a better world, I guess.
All right, speaking
that's
on Black
a slippery
Noir,
slope.
Speaking on Black Noir, do you guys think Black Noir is Lenny, Butcher's brother?
Butcher's brother?
Yeah. I'm trying to piece together how they can get Black Noir on their side, and I think Lenny have a little Cap, Winter Soldier moment.
I don't think so.
No. They could. I think it's possible because
with this
he got
show,
introduced. Yeah, he's in the universe now.
I think the reason why they brought it up was just to show why Billy
is the way he is
towards Huey.
Okay.
I don't think it's anything more than that.
I think there's got to be one more piece of information with Lenny, because he asked what happened to him and she was cut off by Black Noir's bombs. What happened to Lenny? Black Noir shows up. I don't know. I think you're sleeping on Teddy's theory here a little bit. Black Noir was the one who went out of his way to.
He had every chance
Billy.
to kill him too at the time.
He had every chance to kill him.
But then he walks up to him, and then that's when Butcher starts.
And
doing
Black
shit.
Noir is a very composed individual. Doesn't get too high, too low. He's got the Hallelujah ringtone.
I'm gonna pull this after you drop this.
That was such a great scene. That
It
didn't
probably
even
gets
happen.
spoiled in your.
I know. I'm not gonna do it. Yeah.
I wonder if Alistar. I wonder if him and Edgar have a past relationship or something like that with Vought, because I don't buy that he's trying to get them into the 7. I think he's trying to maybe undermine Vought and maybe get his own superhero squad going under the Church of the Collective.
And use the Fresca? It's like a mind control thing?
No, I think it's just so delicious that...
It's a gesture thing.
Yeah. But he's trying to, he's trying to build his own little super team here.
I like that idea. Because Vought always took the angle of our superheroes represent Christian values, so they can position themselves as the alternative, but kind of the same, like a Fresca, I guess. It's the alternative to Sprite, but low calories, right?
0
calories, no sugar?
No sugar, no carbs.
Yeah, there's something. See, just hearing that makes me think there's something fishy going on here. So the Fresca alternative to Coke, you have to be wary. That's a good point, yeah.
For some reason, it's always used as I don't know. I forget what the movie's called with Dax Shepard and Will Arnett. You ever see that one when they go to prison? And they keep roofing each other with Frescas?
Prison Break.
It's not Prison Break.
Oh, I thought they were... Okay. I thought that was a spin-off.
It's like a comedy movie. But, they use the Fresca to,
For Shawshank Redemption.
Yep.
Now
Fresca's being used to help brainwash people to join a cult, so...
That guy, Alistar,
what is that movie? Is it the one when they go to White Castle?
That's Harold and Kumar.
Yeah. No?
Alistar kind of looks like Hugh Jackman to me.
I see that, yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of got some Hugh Jackman.
I thought of Leo and Django.
Yeah, I could see that a bit.
The house, too.
That was a funny-ass scene. When the Deep is finally admitting to A-Train, hey, I'm super jealous of you. I wish you were dead.
His facial expressions are so fucking... He's a little kid.
I feel like you and Nash, and maybe you too, need to all have that conversation with each other. Just get it all out there.
I'd be down.
And I'll be the Alistar handing you...
Not
Frescas. Yeah.
I mean, if you have Fresca, that's the only reason... The only way I'm showing up to
That's
that
the
meeting.
only punch and pie.
Yeah.
But that was a very funny scene. And the Deep, I think this season he's been a lot funnier with this storyline for me.
Well,
A-Train now being involved, I made the point on the official Nerd Soup review with just me and Aaron. Sorry, Teddy. That A-Train is desperate here. That he is going to be more willing to accept this help because he just kind of needs it. Whereas the Deep, for the Deep, it's very superficial. He doesn't need to be back in the 7. A-Train seems like he's got the medical problems, obviously, and he's got 7-figure debt.
If a guy told me that I had that and he can help me, I'd fucking skip to him. Are you kidding me? We also found out that Maeve wants nothing to do with Deep anymore and getting that Homelander. She was just using him to get the black box. When they come up with the
I'm a little confused by that because the 7's like, we'll get you... No, the Church is like, we'll get you back in the 7. Maeve is like, you're back in the 7. Is he back in the 7? Is he
I think
not?
he's never been out of this 7.
Well, I think he's still, in, technically.
It's like 7 at Jace.
Yeah.
He's, you know what he is? He's
on the
Dion
IR.
Waiters.
He's in the minors.
He's Dion Waiters
Yeah.
on the Heat.
Yeah, he's getting 2 rings this year.
That's so funny.
He's getting a ring no matter what. I'm very confused, but I'm intrigued by the Church.
Yeah, me too.
You know the woman Carol who plays not the therapist, like the counselor?
Mm-hmm.
She was Gretchen from Breaking Bad. Walter's girlfriend.
Oh my God, really? Wow.
I was wondering why she looked so familiar. I looked her up the other day. Well, what did you think that the boys have planned for Lamplighter, Teddy? I want to get your thoughts on that. Because we saw Mallory. She finally has the chance to face the soup that killed her grandchildren. And Frenchie is the one who tells her, don't pull the trigger. This man suffered enough. We have another plan for him entirely.
I kind of just think they're just going to use him to help with the fight. I don't know. I think there's no...
It's just an
big
asset?
plan. Yeah, just another big plan.
It's a nice flamethrower to have.
Yeah. That's a good asset.
You can see him making I don't know, I could see that character living with what he did and kind of ready to die. But them saving him... I could see something where he makes a sacrificial play or a move where he might save Frenchie or even...
He's our first death?
Yeah, I mean, he might do something to redeem himself or, I don't know, just a heroic act to save the rest of them and kind of cost his life at the same time. Or maybe, it's kind of dark in their little basement hideout. Maybe they just need some extra lights. Starlight, you get the living room.
Oh my! Yeah, when they were clowning him when he walked in,
Go.
That was so funny.
That was funny in that costume.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what though, if that was me with that power, I'd walk around with that doofy ass costume.
You walk around with a lamp?
Yeah, don't step to me.
No,
I mean, the lighter seems to work perfectly.
Is so much easier.
No, the lamp shows authority.
He looks just like Green Lantern.
When he shows up on a crime scene and he's supposed to be.
Oh.
And you stomp that fucking lamp. I mean, I guess the little lighter could be cool too, if you do a little flip with
Just
it.
seems like a big inconvenience walking around with that thing.
Yeah, of course it is. Why does Batman have a cape? Why does Superman
I
have a
guess, yeah.
cape?
Why does Homelander have a cape?
Superman should just walk around in a tank top.
Well, do you think Stormfront, before we finish, do you think Stormfront, like, we obviously in the beginning she's trying to manipulate Homelander, but then the Nazi reveal and that how she views him as what, Vought intended, he's the perfect sort of Aryan super soldier, blonde hair, blue eyes type deal. Do you think that was another way to manipulate him? To feed his ego? It's like you're kind of this chosen one in a way, and use that to further manipulate him? Or is that just,
I think she got what she wanted, and she has him now.
Or is that really like why she's drawn into him? Because he is maybe what Vought intended. He's the, that character.
Yeah, I think she sees him, and that was her vision, and she sees him, and she sees that that it can be done with him, and this is what she wants.
Yeah, I think so. And even going back to Dr. Vogelbaum was the doctor who created Homelander, when he says that you were my biggest mistake. I think he's starting to realize that this individual isn't the best individual, obviously, and he's capable of doing some horrible things. But if he ever does truly get into the wrong hands, and if he's pushed too far in the wrong direction, this could be devastating. And I think you're kind of seeing that with Stormfront, where she can kind of paint him up and hype him up as the whole "this is your destiny," and that's kind of bullshit. But he seems to be the strongest out of all of them, right? I mean, if you want somebody to lead that sort of revolution, and that's the thing. A lot of people know the ending to this story, and I think the readers have done a good job of keeping those secrets secret.
Are you one of them?
No, I don't know it. I don't know it. But I've heard that it's very good, but the changes that they've made, a lot of people are interested to see how they get there. So I think we can expect this story to be tied up. Not at the end of this season, but moving forward in future seasons.
There's two things I want to bring up, too.
In a satisfying way.
Two things I want to bring up. One is attention to detail, and two was I think there was a little foreshadowing. The attention to detail, do you guys see the scaffolding in Stormfront's room, fixing when they had sex? And then the foreshadowing is...
Yeah, I like that too. That's a good attention to detail.
After Homelander destroyed the trailer, and it kind of looked like in the background is the backdrop of the city, and they were both on top of the trailer looking down at destruction that Homelander did.
Yeah, that's got to be coming.
Yeah.
A moment where it's just pure... Maybe that would be a good season 2 cliffhanger. Mm-hmm. I was talking with a couple friends the other day, how long do you think this show goes? And I would say about 5 seasons, so... I think either in this season or season 3, we are going to see Homelander make that official turn where, like you said, the irredeemable act, where he just has to embrace it. Mm-hmm. There's no hiding from it anymore. So yeah, that's a piece of scary foreshadowing.
Oh
there.
My God, yeah.
Those two standing over the world.
Destroyed cities.
Then all of a sudden, A-Train comes out of nowhere. I'm a big A-Train guy this season.
Really?
Yeah, I wanted to see a nice redemption for him.
He wasn't the worst person in the world.
No, I mean, he only murdered his girlfriend, but other than that.
He just had a problem.
I mean, she ratted him out. All right, guys, that is the Nerd Soup review of The Boys Season 2, Episode 6, The Bloody Doors Off. Thank you for joining the Nerd Soup Monkey, Teddy Nerd Soup, and Beau Oliver.
I wanted to make a Lamplighter Photoshop. Fuck them kids.
That's messed up, man. Come on. They were good kids.
How do you know?
They were badass kids, probably. Being spoiled by their grandma.
Oh, by the way, she was fantastic in that scene.
Mallory?
Yeah.
Yeah, she continues to be great.
They hit all the emotional cues with Lamplighter, Frenchie, and Mallory.
All right, Teddy, you want to make any last points?
Nah, I did mine. I thought my point with the foreshadowing and attention to details would be the last one.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, I'm about to blow the nuts off them with this one.
Yeah, thanks for stepping on my toes, Aaron. All right, guys, see you next week. Well, would you look at that? It's finally over. Hey guys, Beau Oliver here for one final send-off. Now, before I beg you guys to like and share this video, I'd like to thank our very special Patreon pledgers. We are very proud of the community we've been able to build here at Nerd Soup, and it would not have been possible without our Patreon supporters. You guys are the true MVPs of this channel. Everything I've said, you keep the fridge full, you keep the lights on. There aren't enough words to thank you guys, but we'll do it anyway. Thank you. And we have a few videos coming up that have been suggested to us by Patreon pledgers. My Hero Academia, Neon Genesis Evangelion, and Full Metal Alchemist will be reviewed by Marissa, and yours truly, and Castlevania, which will be reviewed by Marissa and Aaron. And if you'd like to consider donating to our Patreon page, you can visit patreon.com/nerdsoup and check out some of the rewards we offer to our listeners. And really, we'd like to thank everyone who takes the time out of their day to watch our videos. Patreon pledger or not, your support is what keeps us motivated to keep giving the world our opinions on movies and TV shows and video games and pop culture, even though no one asked for it. We're still here, we're still yapping, and we hope you continue to join us. I'm Beau Oliver, and I support this message.